I want to be more manly, Tyler. I think that I've decided that moving forward, I want to be more manly.
Well, you got the muscles.
Okay, thank you.
You've got the beard.
Thank you.
You've got the rugged leather-like skin.
So, wait, what? But the muscles in the beard don't make me look too much like a twink, do it?
You are compact size, but you're over muscular. So you'd be more like, you'd be an otter.
So I'm not a spinner at this point.
No.
Because my ego just can't take, or my butthole just can't take that, Tyler. Yeah. But I think that I want to be more manly, and here's why. I had to go get a present with somebody. We were shopping together, which is a son of a bitch, and they needed to get something from Bass Pro Shops. Are you familiar with Bass Pro Shops?
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure Lenny is more than I know it's hard to tell with my rugged exterior, but I myself, not an outdoors man.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Have you ever changed a flat tire?
I have multiple times.
You're well on your way.
But what does that have to do with outdoorsmen? Why did you say, have you ever started a fire by yourself?
Wait a minute. Have you ever changed a flat tire indoors, Tyler?
That's a good question.
So I went to Bass Pro Shops, and I'm going to be honest. That shit looks awesome. It is so friggin' cool in there.
You mean the store itself?
The store?
Yeah.
The accoutrement
it makes
inside the store?
The way that you feel like you can do karate leaving a martial arts movie, you leave that store thinking, I'm an outdoorsman now. I know exactly what to do.
I need a spear gun. Like, how have I lived my life this long?
What are you, Jacques Cousteau?
Britney Spears. So I just realized that I can do anything that I want. I could be anything that I put my mind to.
Yes, you can.
I think I'm deciding right now, I'm going to be a man, Tyler.
Okay.
I want to be a man.
Obviously, you have a specific idea in mind because you brought up Bass Pro Shops. Was there something there, like maybe the guns or the fishing reels? What was it that made you feel like you wanted to be a man?
Well, I went to the one down here at the Dolphin Mall in Miami. And when you walk in, it is painted and done up in such an incredible way. A lot of accessories when you're being a man. Have you noticed that?
Absolutely.
Being a man is not much different than being a woman. There's a lot of things you got to buy.
It's different kind of accessorized.
That's exactly right. But I mean, like I said, there were spear guns there. There were rifles. There was camouflage. And I'm like, I'm going to sleep outside tonight, baby. I want to milk a cow. You know what I mean?
Of course you go.
I want my blood to smell like cologne, Tyler.
What?
I don't know what men do.
Yeah.
That hurts my throat.
Yeah, I don't think that you would last very long as quintessential male.
What do you think is going to slow me down?
Sleeping outside, definitely. You're not great around guns. You have a bit of an aversion to weapons.
That is very true. It's too much responsibility.
It is a lot of responsibility.
I went shooting one time in my button-up shirt and my dress shoes, and I'm like, I don't think that I should be doing this right now. And I wanted somebody to take the gun out of my hands, but I was too afraid to ask for help. Street producer Lenny, you're a man. You're one of the manliest men I know. When something breaks, you're my go-to.
I'd like to think so, yeah.
Is it as fun as it looks?
Definitely.
Because here's the problem. Much like owning a truck, whenever somebody needs to move, they call you.
That is true.
I don't know that I want people bothering me all the time. You know what I mean?
But I'd rather be me than you.
I would rather be you than me too, even though my clothes probably wouldn't fit at that point.
Sure.
But it's like my ability to draw. Whenever somebody wants to put a giant
anything.
A giant mural on the wall. They're like, hey, could you spend 3 months of your life over here at my house? I'm like, I'll chop my hands off.
Buy you lunch.
That's exactly right. That's why men don't draw, Tyler, because they want to watch football and drink beer.
Oh, and because it's for the gays.
When it comes to being for the gays, my name is Ryan.
And my name is Tyler.
And we are those guys you hate. Salutations, my Haitians, and welcome to the show that thinks that perfect people aren't interesting. To my left, my brother that I love so much, Mr. Tyler Menendez. Tyler, how you doing?
Oh, I was just waiting for the joke.
No. There's no other shoe to fall. I just, every now and then I got to be nice.
He's setting me up for a joke.
I think so.
And also, street producer Lenny is meandering around in the back. Street producer Lenny, how you doing?
Not too bad. What's up, guys?
Let's bring that energy up a little bit, street producer Lenny.
Don't tell him how to street produce the Lenny. He will be who he is.
I understand, but I need for him to get excited because, we've been doing a raffle recently trying to help out a child crisis center being built down here in Miami, which street producer Lenny is against, by the way. We'll get into that. But also, I want to use this platform to speak out on something that I also am very, I'm passionate about. Do you guys know that this month is Breast Awareness Month? Are you guys familiar with this fact?
No.
I was not.
Well, I'm just letting the Haitian Army know breast awareness is a real thing. They're out there. If you got mothers, if you got sisters, if you got an overweight uncle, Breast Awareness Month.
So not breast cancer, Breast Awareness Month?
Breast, what were?
Breast cancer?
Yeah, breasts. They're real. They're real, Lenny. Okay, I almost called you Tyler. I'm going to call you Tyler a lot. I'm used to just using Tyler's name as an escape hatch.
I don't like the direction that this is going.
So, Tyler, it's been a while since I did one of these segments on the show that ties things together. Recently, it's just been more free-flowing, and I wanted to go back and try something that I've done before. Do you recall the segment Old-Timey Headlines?
Absolutely.
And can you describe what you remember about it so I'm not just speaking for 3 minutes at a time?
Well, you have multiple headlines that come through in an old-timey way. You've even, I will even say this, he has perfected
for sure
the voice.
Well, thank you, pal.
There it is. There it is.
It's good.
Yes.
One of your best.
Hats off to you, motherfucker.
You sound like you're coming in through a loudspeaker on an old black and white cartoon.
Real tinny.
Yes.
Real tinny. And Steamboat Willie is just doing that thing with his knees.
Chugging along.
Rhythmatically bounces up and down. But here's the thing that you're leaving out. My life, which this show is based on, is very boring. There's not a lot that happens to me. Nobody really would care about what's happening in mild-mannered Menendez life.
Well, I don't know about that mild-mannered part, but even the food you eat is boring, so I will agree with you.
Quite true.
Yes.
I've only had the missionary position and
food.
My favorite spice is flour. So
my favorite color is clear.
Of course, electric clear. Thank you. So what I do is I go for the old bait and switch. I give you the headline of what I want to talk about, see if I could pique your interest, but then I tell you some real mundane shit. So
for sure.
Are you ready? Are you ready to get balls deep into this?
I am always ready to get balls deep into anything. And I will just say before we go into this, that you say the headline and then you try to get our attention. And then you follow up with the story.
I pretend like I care if you say yes or no.
You are going to tell the story no
Absolutely.
matter what.
Otherwise, the show's going to be 14 minutes, Tyler.
That's very true.
We're going to have a real problem. All of our advertisers are going to be calling us up saying, what's going on over there?
And yeah, you don't have enough show to fit us all in.
Also, we don't exist. So let's go ahead and stop telling everyone how sad we are.
Yeah.
And let's get into old-timey headlines. Local man Ryan Menendez in hot water over multiple stockings. What do you think about that, Tyler? Local man, myself, in hot water over multiple stockings. What do you think about that?
Well, I see a conflicted interest of you reporting on yourself.
I'm a journalist first, Tyler.
So no, you can't use that word.
I'm a journalist. I'll snitch on myself if necessary.
I actually am interested simply because this sounds like this is going to reflect poorly on you. So please, Lenny, what do you think?
Leonardo?
It's something to do with actual ladies' stockings.
Oh boy, I didn't even consider that.
Shut the up. Okay? This idea of having other people in here, I just don't feel like it's working.
In the moment, I think this isn't working out.
I can trick Tyler like a puppy with a tennis ball, and this guy's over here thinking.
Well, because he's new.
I don't like the direction.
He hasn't been battered down by your weekly just non-caring of how I respond to you.
Wait a minute, the PTSD doesn't come pre-installed? This is ridiculous.
Well, not like with a man like Lenny.
Here's my problem with the multiple stockings. Christmas is coming up, guys. I'm having a lot of anxiety over Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, the Festival of Lights.
You're not Jewish.
I could be.
You don't say, well, anybody could be.
You know you have to go to school to become Jewish. You can't just decide to be Jewish.
No, what are they going to do? Stop me? If I just say, hey, I'm Jewish now, what are they going to do?
I haven't really.
Send the Jewish police?
I haven't really considered that, Tyler.
Not only that, but it's not like they check your ID when you walk in.
That's right.
Turn around. Let me see that Yamil cut. Now, here's the deal. If we could all stop making fun of Hanukkah just for a second. Okay.
We're making fun of you.
Oh, okay. Good. Just making sure we're all on the right side of history. I will tell you, a lot of this show is the chronicling of us trying to be less selfish because it's something that we run into so much in our lives. I think a real place where I can still feel the resounding nature of my selfishness is in my ability to think about somebody else and give a thoughtful present. I find it to be very tough. What is your take on that, Tyler?
I would just say that there's a lot of pressure that goes into gift giving.
There really is.
You really want to, especially with our perfectionism, you want to get it just right. Even though the act of giving the gift is really what matters, not the gift itself.
What about you, Leonardo? Do you have trouble with the gifts? How do you go about navigating Christmas?
Just give gift cards, man.
But that is what I go to, and also the most impersonal.
I know it is.
It's like, hey,
It's
here's
terrible.
Amazon.
Honestly,
the world is at your disposal. I don't know you at all.
I am having a horrible time right now trying to find a present for Sean.
Okay.
It's killing me.
Well, you just bought him, and I don't think this is interesting to anyone, but you just bought him some t-shirts that were designed for a inside joke that you guys have had for years. That's super thoughtful.
I blew my load on that though. I can't come up with anything else.
What good is an old t-shirt other than cleaning up your blown load?
I didn't know if you meant money-wise or if you meant ideal-wise.
Ideas.
Oh, okay, got you. So basically, everybody else in your life got the short end of the stick.
That's
exactly.
Got you. You had just so much energy to put into this one thing, and you spent it all.
Tyler,
You went for broke.
That's exactly right.
On one person.
Hey, Merry Christmas, Mom. Sean says you can stop by and see the shirt. So enjoy that. By the way, I blew my load on it.
You should really see all the thought process and energy I went into buying Sean's gift, Mom.
Mom, you're going to be so excited when I tell you this. Now, Tyler is a great gift giver. Yeah. Tyler, generally speaking, when he feels like putting in the effort, is a very good gift giver.
You know what? And it's so interesting that you just said what you said, Lenny, because I think I have done the exact same thing this year. I have claimed on this show already that between Ryan, Mikey Menendez, and myself, I have won Christmas this year. I'm going to give them a gift that is so good, they have no chance of coming back from it.
Wow, that's a bold statement.
It is. But I am so confident in the gift that I have given them.
And what is Christmas about if it isn't just winning Christmas, as he said?
Well, I would be saying what you're saying if you were winning, and you'd be saying what I'm saying if you were winning.
You've made me just want to not buy presents for fucking anybody. So I hope you're happy. And one last insight on Christmas. I feel like, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong here, when somebody is hyper patriotic, now it's shifted over time to, I feel like in some sort of way, you're telling on yourself. Does that make any sort of sense? Where you can be so patriotic that you're just kind of masking your hatred for other people and your patriotism.
Oh, absolutely. It's much like religion, where you find these people who claim to be so religious, but they're the most hateful people in the world.
They only love people who are just like them.
Yeah. So absolutely, I think that that it's patriotism is only patriotism up to the point where it starts becoming aggressive. Then it's like, all right, dude, like, all right.
You're using this as a trap door to get your hatred out into the world. And here's why I bring it up. I feel like you're starting to see the same thing with Merry Christmas. I work at a bar. When people come in, I always just say, Happy holidays, guys. I want to be inclusive. I celebrate Christmas. Jesus is my homeboy, but I'm happy for you to enjoy whatever it is that you're enjoying, and it doesn't hurt me at all. The people who need to hear you say Merry Christmas, you're snitching on yourself, bro. That's just fake hatred. Like, how did all these Muslims weasel their way into my holiday? And it's just like, dude, you're using something beautiful as a way to tell on yourself for being angry and in some cases hateful, I think.
Well, that's what it is. It's somebody is going out of their way to say something nice to you, and your immediate response is to be negative.
You're not doing it the way that I want you to do it. Yeah. And I had a pretty drunk guy at the end. He needed to hear the woman I was working with say Merry Christmas, and she just wouldn't do it.
Oh, yes!
Because she just wouldn't do it.
Yes!
And he's like, well, we got to put the crash back in Christmas. And I'm like, brother, I need you to beat it, man.
Were you telling her, like, come on, just say it really quick. Just say it to him, please.
I immediately went to my phone and started writing in the notes. I'm like, this is going on the show. It made me happy when I get some content for the show. Let's talk about it on Depression Index. No one cares. You don't know what the Depression Index is a machine that I built with one nation under God, indivisible through all. I don't remember how that goes. And we crank it up to let you know how down we are.
Ryan just ratted on himself as a bad American.
I'm a communist. You know what? I'm just going to say it. I've been hiding in this hole too long. Tyler.
Yeah.
How are you feeling this week? And
did
you take your pills, brother?
I think communism is coming back. We're making it cool again.
Dude, sickles are badass. Can we all agree that sickles are badass?
Ryan, this week I took my pills 5 out of the 7 days.
Okay, 5. You get 2. And the reason that we do that is if you're taking antidepressants, make sure that you follow up on them. Help society by helping yourself. Tyler, tell me about your week, bud.
Ryan, for this week's depression index. Oh, I just did something. Ryan, for this week's depression index, my theme for session 99 is to take it slow. We speed through the day so often and we just got to get to the next thing and we got to get everything done. Remember to just stop and just take a breath every once in a while. Hey, you know what? Take a breath. Lenny, take a motherfucking breath.
Wow, this is like being in with Elon Musk on Joe Rogan. I love it.
You take that breath and pass it over here. So Ryan, this week I am at a 6, Ryan.
Oh, wow. All right, Tyler, spin that wheel,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You lost your ring.
6.
Your Nuva ring. All right, let's gay it up, Tyler. Let's gay it up. I just have kind of an idea that I want to discuss. I don't have anything really written out here. There is somebody at my job, and this is something that I run into very infrequently. When you're working in the bar business, when you're working in the restaurant business, it is a time of very high stress. All jobs have stress, but these are compact into such small spaces that it could be over an hour, over 2 hours, and you really get to, sometimes you get, people bare their teeth. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Oh, sure.
So with all that being said, in the middle of this ruckus, I have a guy that I work with who, in my mind, tried me. Okay? Like, he's just frustrated and he's like, whatever. And I screwed something up, which happens, you know what I mean? And he bit at me in actually a very minor way, but it got under my skin. I'm not used to people talking to me like that. My ego doesn't like it. How do you, street producer Lenny, how do you handle something like that?
I want to know what he said.
It actually was really benign. And I will tell you that I've actually heard him say it since in more of a kidding mode to somebody else. And it kind of made me feel stupid. Like, wow, you took that really seriously for no reason.
I was going to say, did you put your own perspective on it?
Well, don't we all put our own perspective on everything? Yeah. So when we're in the middle of everything, and I did screw something up, but I have a huge workload there. They load me up because they know I can handle it. That sounded weird. But he said,
but accurate
to me, wow, feels like I'm working by myself. And just out in front of everybody or whatever. And I immediately said, hey, you know what? I really appreciate that. That's super helpful. I appreciate you being such a good leader.
So you handled it.
I handled it like a champ. Yeah, that's right. You fucking poo-poo head. How about that? And with that being said, subconsciously, I have not dropped it. It is something I have held on to. I see him a week later and it is still playing through my head.
Hey, what's up, man? You
fucking dick. But the idea is,
that's good awareness to have.
I've decided that I've forgiven him, but I've realized that I truly didn't. I've said the words that I've forgiven him, but I never actually did it. How do you forgive someone?
You just have to say the words. And even if you realize that you don't actually feel that way, it's just do it until you do, so to speak.
Fake it till you make it?
Fake it till you make it.
Act in a way that you would if you had forgiven them, almost.
It's a conscious decision of logic and reason. It's just those pesky emotions usually get in the way.
And they'll catch up, I think. Yeah. What were you saying, Lenny?
I was going to say, did you have a conversation with him about this?
I did not. And here is the reason that I'm bringing this all up. I think, and I sermonize on the show all the time about it, it is our willingness to be offended. Is it everybody's responsibility to cater to us, or are we going to decide, hey, you know what, that's just a moment in time and I'm not going to carry that around with me? And I have since gone through the catalog and I believe that I've really forgiven him, and it was much harder than I actually had thought that it was. And it's all based on my ego, and it's me just being a bitch, you know what I mean?
That's one way of putting it. But I would also say that it's also really important to forgive yourself, because it's so easy to get upset with ourselves for even feeling that way, because we can judge ourselves for like, oh my God, how stupid of me to feel that way. No, man, it's okay.
And you get stuck in that cycle.
But
so,
man, were you stupid for feeling that way?
This motherfucker, he's not working by himself. I'm working very hard.
I'm standing right here.
Jeez. Could you at least write it on a note and hand it to me? So honestly, let's all catalog who are we mad at. I think that we have a lot of these things tucked into the fiber of who we are, and we're mad at people. And the fact of the matter is, when you're mad at somebody and you're holding onto a grudge, you're not doing any damage to them at all. You're only doing damage to yourself. So with that being said, I'm proud of my progress, and I am at a 4, baby.
Ooh.
1, 2, 3, 4. I did. It was
slow
like
down.
The price is right, and I didn't spin it hard enough, and I'm now just stuck on that stupid nickel.
Well, it's like running. You don't stop, or else it's impossible to start back up again.
No, I think you're thinking of cartoons. Like if you go off a cliff, if you just keep running, you'll be fine. It's when you stop and you open up the umbrella, you're f***ed, dog.
Physics called. They said that checks out.
Now, I took some time to take away from someone on my depression index. It is now time to hold somebody up. It is now time to champion somebody. Let's do a big old...
Wow! Congratulations!
Let's do a big old congratulations to you, Tyler Menendez. Congratulations to you because Tyler, this week, bought silverware, Lenny. He bought silverware.
What?
This whole year that we have been in this house, we have had 2 plates and 1 fork. Okay? Now, we still only have 2 plates, which is very sad, and it's like if you gave a toddler his own apartment. But we now have many forks. We have many spoons.
Lots of forks.
They all kind of look like Slender Man.
Mm-hmm.
Why'd you choose those forks?
They were the cheapest.
Okay. Wish I hadn't asked, Tyler. But with that being said, I'm going to give you another...
Wow! Congratulations!
You did God's work, Tyler.
Thank you.
You did it.
It was honestly...
Do you want to thank anybody?
Well, first I like to thank Amazon for providing an easy route to getting you off my back.
Finally, somebody mentions Jeff Bezos and his success.
Why is nobody talking about him?
So does Ryan just passive aggressively ride you until you do something?
Yeah.
Nice.
What is passive aggressive about that?
Yeah.
I could have bought silverware many eons ago.
So why didn't you?
I honestly wanted to buy silverware and plates and wrap them up and bring them to you on the show. And I'm lazy and I just don't do things that I want to get done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, plus I think plus it's the fact that you would lose your ability to complain about said thing.
Yeah.
If you solve the problem, there's no more problem to complain about.
Luckily, we still only have 2 plates.
Wow! Congratulations!
That was an unwarranted congratulations.
Fix that, you idiot!
And that's the whole thing. It's so shocking to me and always will be when you ever see in a movie or on a show or anything whatsoever, somebody having an epiphany. They always show it as like this like light raining down on you and it's this big grand moment. But really in a lot of ways, epiphanies can be these things that we've heard 1,000 times before or thought of 1,000 times before. And then it just clicks one day. That's what happened with this. It just clicked on me. Holy shit, I could spend $20 and never have to hear about this again.
I may bury some of those spoons in the yard. Because I really enjoyed the silverware thing.
The straw that broke the camel's back was, Tyler, do you have any spoons up there in your room?
Because listen,
no pressure, but we're running out of spoons.
I know that it's you, Tyler. I know that it's you, and we're getting lost in the weeds here, but we went from 30 spoons. All we have is spoons. We can't give up the spoons.
You're taking the one thing away that I have.
I have one constant in my life, Tyler. Finally, somebody will spoon me. All right, I digress.
Boo.
We're also very short on Tupperware, so keep an eye on that too. Tyler.
That's true.
Let's do another old-timey headline, and then let's take a break. You guys ready?
Please.
Man wants victory, but instead got the sweet smell of defeat. Man wants victory, but instead got the sweet smell of defeat.
Well, that sounds like a classic story throughout time.
Sure. That could apply to
anyone.
That could apply to anybody, Tyler. That's exactly right. Lenny, are you in on this?
I think I figured it out again.
Whoa!
I'll punch you in the face. Honestly,
well, you gotta let him try.
You know what? Forgiveness is overrated. Go ahead. Let's hear what you got.
Something about smelling feet.
No, it's not defeat. I know. You know, when I was growing up, there was a athlete's foot commercial, and it was victory over defeat. And I remember as a child being like, I love wordplay.
That's pretty good.
Is athlete's foot still a thing?
Oh, yeah,
I
sure.
don't feel like I ever hear people talking about athlete's foot anymore. Have we cured it?
Well, I think once they made that commercial of the little bug lifting the nail straight up.
Tyler, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I think they shocked everybody into just, it's like it's taboo. Nobody talks about it anymore.
It's like those Mucinex commercials with the big giant chunks of phlegm talking to me in a New Yorker accent. Hey, so I go into this lady the other day. I'm like, I need to talk to your marketing department. Oh, we're going to do some sort of a firing squad.
And is this how you think of New Yorkers? All of them?
So man wants victory, but instead got the sweet smell of defeat. Again, a very boring subject, but I'm hoping for people to fill in the cracks of my lie. Wait,
You're just always asking people to fill in the cracks.
should I rephrase that?
Go on.
I talked about not being able to see colors in my mind on this show, and a listener hipped me to the game of aphantasia.
Mhm.
Changed the way that I look at my life. I want to see if I can recreate some of that magic here.
Okay. He's taking a dramatic sip of water.
I earned that, baby.
Yeah, you did.
I had this experience about 2 weeks ago that had never happened to me before. We talk all the time about pheromones. Do you know what pheromones actually are? Which it is the chemicals that your body gives off that you smell that determine whether or not you're sexually attracted to someone.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the neurotransmitters that bring people together. Did I explain that properly?
Sure.
For the first time ever that I can recall, I smelled someone, and it wasn't body odor. It wasn't that they just hadn't bathed or weren't hygienic.
It was their natural musk.
It was their natural smell,
Mhm.
and it was sickeningly sweet.
Ah, yes.
And I mean, like the way you would assume antifreeze tastes. I mean, I smelled them, and it was so
delicious.
pungent
Mm.
that it. And I hate to, it wasn't anything against the person. It just really, it shocked me.
Yeah.
I had never smelt that in my life. Have you ever experienced that?
Oh, yeah. I have been in situations where I have gotten into it.
Yeah.
Where
Look at this guy.
or I have gotten heated with a person, and we start to get into it.
When you say heated with a person, you guys went to the beach or what?
Sexually, Ryan. We were
Oh.
getting, our genitals were getting heated.
Oh, you put the hee-haw in the ding-ding?
Yeah, well, we were going to.
Okay.
And then, just as you said, it wasn't BO. It wasn't that kind of smell. It was the natural chemicals coming off of her. Not only turned me off, but made me like viscerally angry in a way. It was, I had to like shut it down, and I had to like make up an excuse why I had to get out of there.
There's nothing serial killer about that.
But it was a terrible feeling.
Experience.
Yeah.
I think
It made me feel bad.
everybody has experienced a little bit of what you're talking about. Have you ever experienced something along those lines?
I don't think so. No.
Well, I think one of the real reasons why online dating doesn't work. Now, every now and then you're going to get lucky.
Well,
but
I was going to say, you strike it lucky every once in a while.
you could see somebody really beautiful on there, and the moment that you walk up, you're like, this just isn't going to work out. This just isn't going to work out. So I digress.
That will never happen to me, Ryan, because they never call me back.
Oh, you lucky dog. This guy's got it all figured out. So basically, and here's the last point in it. Since that has happened, I've had it happen like 3 other times in the last 2 weeks. It had never happened to me before. I've had it happen a couple times since. And I'm wondering if my body is just changing. You know how they say like your palate changes every 7 years? What you think is delicious? I'll try an olive once a year just to see if I like it. Spoiler alert, I do not.
No.
I do
No.
not. It tastes like, what do you keep things into? What's that fluid that you put things into?
Brine?
Nah, but it tastes like little formaldehyde balls, and it just disgusts me. It tastes like a lab experiment. So nonetheless, is that just my body changing? What do you think that is?
Sure. I think our attractions change over time. As you said, our palate changes. Our tastes for things change.
Sure.
So, yeah, I think it's just your body. Look at you going through puberty.
Look at
Oh,
me.
you're adorable.
Doctor said it would happen sooner or later.
Oh, finally.
I can't wait to hit that growth spurt, man, because I am being teased relentlessly on the playground. And pheromones, if I have this right, you may know better than I, it's your body's immune system being attracted to somebody with the opposite. So if you were to have bebes, they would have a full immune system. Is that? I feel like I just took the show into a ditch.
We all saw it together. You trying to recover the segment by saying Bibis like that, and then when it didn't work, you crumpled into a ball.
I can fix it here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take a break. The three of us are going to smell each other's armpits and see if we're sexually compatible.
Nailed it.
Maybe.
Those guys.
So
you
wait a minute.
Kim Jong-il your boy.
So nobody's allowed to be friends with Kim Il-jong or whatever his name is?
It's Kim Jong-il.
Yeah, I've heard it both ways.
Now I'm confusing myself, but you called him my boy. What the hell is that?
Well, you know what? I have a soft spot in my... Now, I agree with everything that every one of my friends, what they do? Of course not.
You hate.
I'm rooting for you.
For whom?
Kim Il-jong. No,
Don't say that.
No, not what he's doing.
He's doing all the bad things.
I'm rooting for him to pull out of this tailspin. I'm hoping that he can learn from his mistakes. Is that so wrong? Now, do I condone his behavior? Absolutely not.
Weird place to place your flag.
Those guys you hate.
And somebody going back into the archives and pulling up some of the crazy racist shit that Tyler's always saying. It's ridiculous.
What are you talking about? I love old people. Red circle, by the way.
There was some off the wall shit in session 0.
Sure. There might have been.
Good God.
There may have been. And we'll edit this, but Ryan, we have one bumper of Ryan's saying that's in the annals of the show's history.
I think I was taken out of context there. I think one time we said, welcome to the show. That's whatever the right way to say it is.
Yeah, we did. But that one made it to Instagram. that one we didn't hide away.
Well, that's unfortunate, Tyler.
That one's on Instagram.
That's unfortunate. We're going to have to go back and black out some of our history, Tyler.
Racist.
We're going to have to take down some of these statues that we put up here in the house.
Just put a disclaimer up, Oh, times were different when this was recorded.
It was 2 months ago. What the hell are you talking about? All right. We like to look back on things that we've done wrong in the past on a segment called We Can Review.
Ryan, for this week's Week in Review, I'm actually a little light. I have this one, and of course it's about food. For my one and only...
Okay, then if that's the case, let me go first because I have two.
Go for it.
So we'll sandwich you in there.
Perfect.
Tyler, last week we mentioned the original vibrator. Did I blow off the assignment?
No.
I've actually heard about this in the past. A man named Joseph Mortimer Granville, we're not making enough Mortimers anymore,
No.
patented an electromechanical vibrator in the early, you want to guess? Street producer Lenny, you want to guess the early first vibrator? First time somebody chipped a tooth.
Man, I don't even know.
Tyler?
1700s?
What is it?
1700s?
See, I was going to go early 1800s.
1880s.
What? Oh!
1880s. And I saw a picture of this thing. Not unlike, these things that are very popular right now, the muscle guns where people are shooting. Passive aggressive Anthony has like 4 of them for some reason.
Is that true?
Yeah, he's a weirdo. I think he's doing some dark things with those.
He's a weirdo.
Yeah. Did this thing start off brown? So it was to relieve it. It looks a lot like those. It looks a lot like those new machines. So he invented it to relieve muscle aches. And doctors soon realized it might be used on other parts of the body.
Yeah.
Almost how like Viagra was invented.
Yeah, or ecstasy or any of these things. They were used for other purposes and they realized, if I take this pill, I get a boner for 8 hours.
I think ecstasy does the opposite, Tyler.
I meant the Viagra part.
Now, what also, and maybe you've heard something about this, the innovation shortened treatment time for hysteria. Do you remember how when women were hysterical, which is just code word for being a bitch, they would just give them a nice little orgasm and everybody would go on about their way.
Why are we still doing that?
I would be down at the docks being a bitch to everyone from behind.
I need my treatment. Ryan,
Papa needs his medicine.
For my one and only Week in Review, we wondered last week what the differences were between a Jamaican beef patty and empanadas.
Does this happen often?
Not really. I am disappointed.
I'm so sorry. I've let you guys down. That was foreshadowing, by the way, but please continue.
Wonderful. Did I find out?
Oh, yeah!
Much like the difference between anxiety and excitement, There is no real difference.
Okay, it's not different in the dough because when I think of a Jamaican beef patty, street producer Lenny, you love a Jamaican beef patty?
I love a Jamaican
with a little
beef
hot
patty.
sauce?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the Jamaican beef patty from school?
Yeah. That's,
Oh!
Here we go. And in terms,
Oh, I'm suffering from hysteria.
and I'm somebody get me my muscle relaxer.
Bring in a guy in a stovepipe hat.
I think it has to do with I mean the ingredients that you use. You can make it. You can do dessert empanadas. You could do dinner Jamaican beef patties. But in essence, they're the exact same thing.
Well, when I think of a Jamaican beef patty, I think of the yellow shell, like a yellow cover.
That's because that's what they fed us in elementary school.
Were they not supposed to be yellow?
I don't know, but it looked weird.
And it was kind of green in the corner. You guys know what I'm talking about. No, but I think of the yellow shell, and then with an empanada, it's more of a pastry. Is that? I feel like you didn't do enough research here, Tyler. I
So
think
then you do it.
You phoned it in.
You
Tyler.
do it.
This is gonna sound hilarious in post. All right, Tyler. So
Unless I deem it otherwise.
yeah, we're gonna have to really put some work in on that to make it funny. Tyler, I looked up. Did J-Lo start butts?
Okay. And she did.
Yeah, J-Lo invented butts, Tyler.
You just went out of your way to look at a bunch of J-Lo butt photos.
You know,
He's nervous.
you know what? I did actually look at some J-Lo butt pictures having nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
And I don't know that she did invent the craze of big butts because we've talked about when I was growing up, cleavage, as scientists call it, the tittyage, was the big thing. Now it is the rump, Tyler. It is the hiney.
Yeah, boobs have been relegated to back of the bus now in terms of sexuality.
That's
Now
exactly
it's
right.
all about the badunkadunks.
Can't
Ryan.
sit here with your milky white nipples.
They call those ghost nipples.
Do
Ryan.
you like that?
Love it.
Really?
Love it. Pale skin, ghost nipples. Oh my God.
But
I'm dead. I am dead
do they
serious.
actually call it ghost nipples?
Well, that's what they are called on the internet. I don't know what the actual term is.
we can review.
I've never once heard of this.
Do you know what we're talking about?
No, not at all.
What?
It's like a nipple that is exactly the same color as the boob. Am I right about
yeah,
that?
Yeah. So it's like the same color
Sure.
as the
And
skin.
they're called ghost nipples.
That's what the internet calls it.
Can we change it to Barbie tits?
We're getting hurtful
Because I've got
little
a
bit.
Ken doll dick. So I don't know that she was I feel like she was kind of the turning point, and I didn't put a lot of time into it, so that's what we're left with.
Well, I would imagine it's very much like Yahoo at the beginning of the tech boom. They weren't responsible for the tech boom, but they were one of the forefathers of it.
And they also had that badass song that went, Yahoo!
You notice how he always replies with anything that he wants to say? It's not a reply to what I'm saying.
I'm not a good counterpart to do a show with.
He's
I
doing
think.
his own show.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Always.
And it's the one that everybody wants to hear. And that is not my shameful admission, but I do have a shameful admission. Street producer Lenny, you got a street producer Lenny, you got a shameful admission?
I sure do.
You told me one in secret that I want to blab on, but let's go ahead and let's get into, I think, self-explanatory shameful admissions. Shameful admissions. Gets better with every time. That's a workout banger right there, Tyler.
Yeah.
All right, Tyler, you want to go ahead and crack the seal?
You want me to go first?
Let's hear it,
Should
baby.
I go first?
Let's go.
I'm the only one? Okay.
Who, me? Me?
Session 99, Ryan. As you know, street producer Lenny, as you know, I am a fast food connoisseur. I love me some fast food, from McDonald's to Burger King to Wendy, that slutty little redhead.
Me too, buddy.
Leave her alone.
I will eat any of them.
But aren't connoisseurs like usually people who like to take their time and like sniff the cork? And I don't think of
I'm
a
talking
connoisseur.
about the connoisseur who's the alcoholic, who just drinks all the time.
That's just called a wino, Tyler.
Connoisseur, wino, same thing. Anyway, I am a connoisseur / wino of fast food, Lenny. And so amongst my many, many travels to these destinations, I will sometimes, and I've complained about this in the past, where you ask for ketchup and they give you 2 measly fucking packets.
Yeah.
2 packets?
Yeah.
I'm at least a 5-packet man.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't think that they know what kind of ketchup indulgences everybody is going to proceed with. So they give you 2 and see if you ask for some more.
But don't put me in that position. I'm an uncomfortable person. I don't even want to be talking to you.
These millennials.
And now you're a millennial, and now I got to go and ask for more ketchup. And they always give you attitude when you do. They make you feel bad.
I will tell you, I ate in a McDonald's very recently. I asked for 2 sweet and sour packets and for a wing sauce packet for the person I was with. Too embarrassed to go back for ketchup, 8 ketchupless.
Ah,
yeah,
yes.
I didn't want to bother him again.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you're right.
Especially when you show your hand on that first go through.
Mm-hmm.
Car ketchup, Ryan. My shameful admission is that I employ car ketchup.
Oh.
I have packets in my car sometimes and they don't give me enough ketchup. Hey, look at that. Here's some from yesterday.
Car ketchup is the most dangerous of games.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely thought you were going to say you were taking a bottle with you.
Wait a
I was
minute.
so excited for
That would
that.
have been great.
I think we need to step up your game. What is this show other than a brainstorming session?
Like the Rolls Royce that has the liquor compartment. I just have a mini fridge with all my condiments.
No, see, I'm thinking of, the ketchup dispensers at a stadium with the big pump on taps? Hey, can I get in your back seat? Sorry, man.
Yeah, those are reserved.
I got ketchup and mayo. And I relish my decision.
Boo.
Street producer Lenny. So Tyler has car ketchup. I give you one of these. Street producer Lenny. And thank you for bearing your soul to us, Tyler. You are on your way to recover.
Absolutely, thank you.
I'd say in months from now, you won't use ketchup at all.
Then it'll be car mustard, and then where to go from there.
I don't like that. Street producer Lenny, let's go ahead. Crack that seal again.
So I don't know if I can compete with Tyler, but the biggest thing that I can think of at this moment would be my wife, Grace, buys all of my clothing.
Now,
all of it.
Now, let me do some follow-ups here.
And not because she wants to, because I want her to.
Because you don't want to go to the store, or you just don't like buying clothes?
I don't want any part of any of that.
Do you not care
I'm
what you're
terrible.
wearing?
No, I really don't,
Okay,
honestly.
that's
That's
interesting.
why I love him. That's why I love him.
Would you do that? Would you let somebody pick out clothes for you?
If I knew that they knew my style to some degree, absolutely.
Okay, let me ask this question.
Have you seen the way that I dress 90% of the time?
Unfortunately, I have, Tyler. Let me ask you this. Does she ever buy you something that you kind of don't like? And let me stop there. Does she ever buy you something that you're like, I don't really like that?
It has happened before, sure, yeah.
Now, what do you do? Do you just wear it, or do you say, I don't really like that?
No, usually it gets returned, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
well,
okay.
then you got
But it's rare that happens.
you've just got a good system there.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not hugely picky about what I wear, so
Okay.
I mean, mostly everything that she would get for me, I don't care.
I dig it. As shameful admission, you don't buy clothes for yourself, not unlike a giant toddler. I love it.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
buddy.
And thank you for having the courage to speak.
Sure.
Now-
And congratulations on you being the very first guest shameful admission on this show.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Congratulations.
That's exactly right. Now, for my shameful admissions, this is something that worked out totally organically. And you guys will all know this. I can go for hours snoozing an alarm. I can just let a snooze go off over and over, and it annoys me, but not the way that I think it would annoy the people around me. Do either of you guys ever do that?
Oh, get annoyed by your snooze alarm
That's not
all
what-
the time.
Tyler, stop,
all the time.
Tyler, stop grabbing the steering wheel of the show. Stick to what I'm asking you, okay? Just the facts, ma'am.
For me, I don't even do snooze. I just hit end, and it's a dangerous game to play where you just hit end on the
Yeah,
alarm. And
I'll remember.
Hope. I mean, thankfully, because of COVID and because of just my general lack of irresponsibility or my general
I was going to say, your
irresponsibility.
irresponsibility is not lacking.
There are not very many things that I need to wake up on time for
Sure.
anymore. But yeah, I just hit stop and cross my fingers and let the universe take over.
Leonardo?
No, I'm definitely a snoozer, but on my
Not to wake up. I mean, to get things done.
I don't set alarms for myself to get things done.
What do you do? I mean, how
just-
else could you possibly live?
I just remember to get things done.
What? What?
We got to get this guy on some recreational drugs because you're just not living right, dude.
I mean, geez.
Look at this
man.
guy remembering
I
shit.
genuinely thought we were talking about waking up in the
No,
morning.
I'm talking about I set alarms for almost everything because I procrastinate everything.
Well, you know what? I thought that we were talking about waking up in the morning as well.
Oh, no, I just set alarms, much like my alarm just went off right now.
Yeah.
I set alarms to do things that I don't want to do right now as if I'm going to want to do them in 2 hours.
My mistake. I misunderstood. Then yes, Ryan, I'm back on board with what you said. I am the same way. I write a task down in my alarm, and when it pops up, either snooze or end it and just, again, I hope I do it.
And that is, my shameful admission is not that I'm annoying everyone, because I don't give a shit.
No, you actually love that.
My shameful admission is, of all the alarms that I set, and I'm just guessing here, I maybe blow off 70% of them. I annoy people for hours, and then I'm like, you know what? I don't even care anymore.
Pointless alarm.
I don't even care.
I think I'm missing out on some real anxiety in my life. I'm going to start making alarms for myself.
I am telling you.
Look at this guy not dealing with anxiety like a normal person.
But he wants to run before he can crawl. You got to get the recreational drugs involved, dude.
Right.
You can't just jump off a cliff and
You
hope to
set me
fly.
We'll talk after this.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Ryan Menendez can't, but other Ryan maybe.
And, oh God, I hate that guy.
Wink, wink.
And on top of it, that's the most fun part. You're building up to the most enjoyable part of anxiety
exactly right.
is doing the things that will down the road give you anxiety. But in the beginning, holy shit, is it fun.
So all those people who are annoyed by my alarms, just take some solace in knowing that I'm not going to complete that task. And that is Shameful Admissions, the first Ménage à Trois.
That is the equivalent of the person, but more annoying. It's a step up above the person who will not answer their phone because this is the good part of the song. Like, fuck you, person who has heard that ringer 1,000 times, but wants to get to the chorus because it's the good part.
Hold up. Beat's about to drop. All right, Tyler, are you ready to do your segment?
I am. That was quite the buildup.
It's called a dramatic pause, Tyler. Google it. Watch All My Children. That's how you do it.
Gotcha. Ryan!
I'm kind of happy that Lenny can't hear this beautiful music. I don't know why.
You've really turned on him over the course of this show.
Well,
you've really turned on
I'm just
Lenny.
losing the ability to hide it. That's all.
I'm taking too much attention from him.
Shut up! You shut up!
I was the one complaining about it.
Also shut up!
So Tyler, do your segment without talking.
So Ryan, how you been?
Well, guys, I'm sure that you've noticed the world is full of problems.
Sure.
Everywhere you look, problems.
Yep. But a bitch ain't one.
Yeah, technically that's true. You're absolutely right. Shit.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He gay, y'all.
And lonely.
I love this show. I just uplifting.
So, we're here to solve a lot of those problems. We're not going to do world hunger. We're not going to do the depression epidemic that we are feeling and seeing right now. But we're just going to take questions from our audience and we're going to solve those problems for them. Are you, Lenny, you're the first guest to sit in on this. Are you ready to be a part of this problem-solving industry?
I was born ready.
He's a can-do man.
He really is.
Yeah,
and it really annoys me.
I hate it.
It's a constant reminder of all the things that I don't know how to do, you bastard.
If he wasn't my handyman, I'd throw his ass out of here.
All right. Lenny, since you're the guest, you are going first, okay? Our first question comes in from Tess Tickles, okay? Lenny, it's my best friend's birthday next week. Should I go with cupcakes or cake? And what kind?
I would say red velvet cupcakes.
Ooh. Oh.
Now let me ask you.
Miss Tickles, you are welcome.
Wait, what is her name?
Tess.
Right?
Tickles, Miss
I
Tickles.
feel like I know this person.
Yeah. It's a common name.
Now, do you prefer cake or cupcakes? I got to know.
I would say cupcakes in a party atmosphere.
It's just easier.
It's easier.
I love a cupcake, man. I
Have
love
you
a
ever-
cupcake.
It's the sandwich of cakes.
Cut it in half and then you put the halves back together. with
Listen,
cream and
the
milk.
internet doesn't tell me how to eat my food, okay?
It's the most efficient way to do it.
I
the
peel
way
a
you're
banana
describing.
how I've always peeled a banana. Go bleep yourself, you two.
Yeah, but look at the way monkeys do it. They figure stuff out.
Bird brain.
All right, so I'm gonna go next, okay? This is a question from Ben Jekkinoff, okay? Tyler, what foods can I feed to my vegan cat? Now, that is a great question, okay?
Wait a minute. Can cats survive a la no meat?
That is an excellent question as well, Ryan, because that is the point that I'm gonna get to. To all the people out there, feeding your pets or treating your pets as vegan, you are fucking stupid.
My poodle needs a soy latte stat.
Animals are carnivore or omnivores, just like us
Sure.
humans, and need meat to survive. So, Ben, Mr. Jackanoff,
Wait, is he Polish? What is
you're an
this?
idiot. Feed your animal meat.
But wait a minute. You say that cats are omnivores. Are they? Do cats eat vegetables?
Oh, I don't know.
I believe
we can review.
I believe all animals. I don't think animals can survive just off of one type of food.
we can review. I think of cats as being carnivores.
Well, I was thinking of like lions and large cats. I don't think they eat.
They eat steak, right?
Yeah.
If I'm not
Just
mistaken,
animals.
they get their nutrition from eating those animals after they've ingested the
Now that
nutrients.
is interesting. We can review. And our cat from our childhood, Ashes, famously loved lettuce. Whenever we would come home from the grocery store, my mom would put the outer piece of lettuce, which everybody's touched, and nobody wants to eat that, and see if it would kill the cat. All right, Tyler.
And she always vomited after eating that lettuce. Every time.
I love that sound.
That was my favorite part.
I love that sound. Is there any way we could find the sound of a cat vomiting and just put it in here in post?
You mean like right here? God, that's going to be disgusting. All right, Ryan, this one's up to you, okay? This one comes straight in.
It's about time, Tyler.
This one comes in from Anna Borshin, okay? Now, Anna writes in, she says, my boyfriend gets upset that sometimes my vagina is looser than other times. He thinks I'm cheating, but I'm not. What's going on?
Here's what you got to do. And I've been waiting my whole life for this question.
Thank you, Ms. Borshin.
Yes. What is her name?
Anna.
Right.
Last name Borshin, Miss Borshin.
Is she from the Soviet Union?
She didn't write in.
Ah.
Soviet Union. She's
Anna-
writing it from the past, huh?
Anna, get in touch with us because I have some follow-up questions. But here's my advice to you, okay? Much like a t-shirt, like I have a flannel shirt that I wear all the time. By the end of the usage, before I wash it again, it gets a little looser. It gets a little looser. You throw it in the laundry, you bring it back out, a little bit tighter. Hot showers and abortion. Hot showers. But just if you have one of those detachable heads, just jam it right up in there. And I think, unless I'm mistaken, that it's going to tighten it up a little bit. It's going to tighten it up. And if not, get in touch with us. We'll give you some more advice.
I can't imagine that is medically sound. Lenny, what's your take on it?
Why would you ask me for advice and then not take it? Get in the shower right now, anyone who's listening to this.
Call in to the show right now. All right, I mean, great advice, Ryan.
If you're going to ask me, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, Ryan, Lenny, this is your second question of the day. This comes in from Chuck McCrap. My son is 45 years old and in an open relationship. How do I punish him? Now, for those of you who do not know, an open relationship is when you are together with somebody, but then you have the understanding of going and banging other people.
Not real. Open relationship, not real.
I disagree.
Someone's secretly mad, and it's me.
No, Ryan, you're not in an open relationship. You're just being cheated on.
And I ask you to stop. Nicole.
She knows I hate it when she does this.
Stop making me hold your purse. But
This is Chuck.
This is Chuck. This is Mr. McCrap. And my
this is
son
devolving.
is 45 years old and is in an open relationship. How do I punish him? Now, this person is obviously not a fan
I was just about to say
of their son being in an open relationship.
I mean, I guess just bend him over your knee and spank him.
No.
Sometimes that's what you got to do.
Pushing him deeper into
I
the
was going to
lifestyle.
say, the relationship is going to become more open.
And now unzip his mask and see if he's learned his lesson.
So you say bend him over your knee.
Corporal punishment,
Yeah,
Tyler.
corporal punishment.
Yeah. And much like Anna, if you're going to do this, go ahead and videotape it, send it in. We'll make it part of the show.
Make it fun.
Yeah. Bring on his partners.
This is really devolving.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can use this.
I don't think we've helped anyone.
All right, I'm going to go with mine. This is coming in from Seymour Bush. Mr. Bush says, I promised my son a PS5 if he got straight A's, and he did. But I don't want to give him a PS5. What should I do? Now that's tough because does he not want to give him a PS5 because he's just a bastard and wants to go back on his word?
You kinda mean.
Or is it the fact that PS5s are impossible to get right now and doesn't want to let his son down?
Well, then you shouldn't have made the promise there, pal.
Very well said, Ryan. That's what I'm going to go with. If you make a promise, you gotta follow through on it. However, I think you should explain to your son how difficult they are to come by, and you'll get it when it's available.
Okay. Yeah. And that's a great advice for when he starts dating.
Yeah, but if he gets that PS5, it's going to be way, way down the line.
If you get your hands on a
Dating.
PS5, you never let it go. If it tries to leave you, you kill it.
That's what love is.
Yeah.
If they loved you, they would
Yep.
never try to leave. And if they do,
Yep.
kill them.
Yeah, they're rejecting you.
All right, finally, this last one of the day, Ryan, this is coming into you.
Let's go.
She wrote this in, she said, I specifically need Ryan to answer this because he's spoken about this on the past.
It's a specialty skill. I'm with it.
Now, this comes in from Tara Dickoff. Ms. Dickoff says, what should you do if your teenage boy uses your fleshlight?
How old is this boy?
Teenage boy, she doesn't give a specific age, but let's just say 16.
Now, and this is going to be weird, especially because we're talking about minors. And I can't help but notice that you guys got cake or cupcakes, and I've got cock or cum cakes.
Well, you had you had loose vagina, and now you have fleshlight.
That doesn't seem right.
But these were specifically tailored to you. I mean, you do have a teenage boy, and you do have a fleshlight.
I'm going to need for you not to mention those two things in the same sentence. And we're definitely not talking about my teenage boy. In this hypothetical, I am going to ask, what's the name again?
Tara Dickoff.
Okay.
Miss
Miss Dickoff. I am going to say, in this hypothetical, I don't even know if I want to make this joke. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to make it, and we'll decide later on whether or not we want to keep it.
Which means Ryan is going to want to take it out.
If I'm questioning it while the show is going on, there's no chance we're using it. Is this teenager's dick bigger than mine? Because I don't want I don't want Lenny wearing my jacket.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just not going to fit right anymore.
Yeah. Big guy in a little coat, basically.
That's exactly right.
That's right.
Thank you for saying big guy. That was
you
did a good job.
Fat guy seemed hurtful.
Thank you.
Unnecessary.
Yeah,
I'd say.
very.
Sure.
It is the line.
Sure. That's awkward.
So let me get this straight. Tara? Is that Tara?
Tara.
Miss Dickoff.
Miss Dickoff.
Tara herself has a fleshlight.
Good question. Good question.
I thought about that as well, but my assumption is that she uses it with her husband. With her husband. Would you say?
You can flip it around.
Yeah. And I'm sure she uses one end, the husband uses the other.
There is a male side.
Great.
Yep.
Great.
Yep. I didn't mean to stop the show.
How does that further the conversation?
You squat over it.
I'm like,
yeah, I'm not good at this. By the way,
you and I had a flow going, and he just gets in. There is a male side.
Here's the deal, okay? And don't say have a flow going. Christmas is coming up. I think you just gotta, forgive the wording, splurge a little bit and get him his own fleshlight. You know what I mean?
But you run into the problem of giving your child a sex toy. It makes for an awkward Christmas dinner.
Be the cool parents. First of all, eat off plates, don't eat off fleshlights. Be the cool parents, much like those people like, hey, I know you're gonna drink, just come drink here. Like, hey, I know you're gonna jerk, come jerk here.
So the parents who do that, you're going to jail.
And you get to find, send them to their room, I would suggest. I don't think you should make it a family activity. But I'm going to say, go ahead, find out who their favorite porn star is. Better hope it's not Sasha Grey, because that one doesn't exist. And get them what they need. You know what I mean?
Well said. Lenny, do you have any follow-up points?
No follow-ups.
That's it, baby. That's it.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is Solving Problems.
Great job, Tyler.
You are welcome, ladies and gentlemen, or I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure which one.
Our deepest condolences on that. All we have left for you is one more old-timey headlines. Are you ready?
Please.
Destigmatizing. Have we gone too far?
Destigmatizing.
Like, Tyler, let me ask you, what has been destigmatized recently? I mean, I think
weed is definitely one of them.
Okay.
Weed in the 70s and 80s was like the drug was like hell on earth with the drug crackdown, and now everybody's doing it.
Still is. Let's all open our eyes up to the devil's weed.
The devil's lettuce.
Gay people in sports, gay people in rap.
Yes.
Destigmatized.
Yeah, well, sports still has some work to do, but rap seems to be blossoming quickly, as a matter of fact.
We can all agree that UFC is vaguely gay.
Oh, very gay. Very gay. I mean, once you have a move called the Dick Muncher, it's time to just openly acknowledge you some gay boys.
Somebody in this room is going to start training MMA, am I right? Now, there are transgender people. There are all sorts of things that are being destigmatized.
Yeah.
I think it's time that we get in on a little bit of this. I have 3 things that I think need to be destigmatized, and I'm being dead serious about this.
I feel like, and if you are being dead serious about this, I have a feeling Ryan is about to be a trailbreaker, and he is about to go off the beaten path, and he is about to argue on behalf of things that you and I, Lenny, are not going to want to be associated with in any way.
I actually think I'm going to be able to talk you guys over to my side. I'm being dead serious, but let's not do the buildup.
Well, I'm a very agreeable person, so you might be right.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Let's start here. How about being a mama's boy? I think that we need to destigmatize being a mama's boy because who doesn't love their mommy? Like, I'm confused by that one.
That one has a bit of a gray area simply because when people say mama's boy, I don't picture somebody who loves their mom. I picture somebody who is codependent upon their mother.
Okay, but I think anytime that somebody has a relationship with their mom, you can be hit with mama's boy, mama's boy. I think we need to change that. Different verbiage. Instead of mama's boy, what you're talking about is a pre-serial killer. I think, can we all agree with that?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You're
Somebody who hasn't developed their autonomy from their mom.
Exactly. That is a scary situation when you meet somebody who like has sex and then immediately has to call their mother afterwards.
We FaceTime. Am I doing this right? I got a lot of sex jokes with people in my family. Let's move on.
Like always. He doesn't mean on the show. He means forever.
I'm gonna your mouth, fella.
Oh, dude, for some reason, the mouth made it so much worse.
Got a pretty mouth, boy.
A general would have been okay.
Lenny, what do you think about mama's boys?
I mean, I don't think in any loving relationship, a partner should be throwing around a term to hurt the other person.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't think your mom should be calling you a mama's boy. I'm talking about other people calling you that.
That is definitely pre-serial killer. You are such a fucking mama's boy.
Stop calling me. I'm out. How many times do I have to tell you? Lose my number. Okay, what about this one? What about saying fuck you? Now, here's the deal. I use the term fuck you often, like
yeah, you do,
in a flippant way. I don't genuinely mean I hate you. It's just like in the moment. And I have had some disagreements with people over it in the past.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys, Lenny, what do you think about that?
You and I have had this conversation
We
before.
have had this conversation.
In the very beginning of our relationship.
Were you against it?
I was against it. And I still am, yeah. I don't think that you should say fuck you to anybody that you...
And why do you feel that way? As opposed to like, you're a dick.
It's just such a... I mean, it has a... Oh man, I don't even know what to say here.
The connotation of it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the connotation of it is just so negative. I guess that's where I'm trying to go.
Well, trigger warning. It's like calling a woman a cunt.
Yeah.
We've just decided that that's really bad when it's just a regular...
Unless you go to Australia and they use it on every other word, which I'm a little jealous of.
I love this cunting sandwich. Okay, and Tyler, what's your take on you?
Yeah, I'm with Lenny on this one, and I understand how you mean something it does matter, but there are certain words, certain phrases that when you use them, no matter your tone, no matter your inflection, it's just gonna... you has such a heaviness to it.
It's the way that somebody receives it. Kind of like shut up.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Or
shut up for me is worse than you.
Both of them are pretty bad.
Oh yeah, I would much rather get a you than a shut up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And finally,
because you's a general thing. Shut up, you're actually ordering me to do something.
Tyler, shut up. you. And finally, I had to do it one time. I had to say you to
By all
someone.
means. Yeah, I don't like it.
This is where the origin of all of this came from.
Okay.
We need to destigmatize being drunk. We need to destigmatize being drunk. And this happened to me this week with someone where I was out with someone who had been drinking. I've done this to you before.
You do it to so many people.
I'm defensive about it, Tyler. Don't bring it up. I don't want to talk about it. No, but the thing is, if you're drinking and then you've drank a bottle of wine to your head. And then I say in a totally matter-of-fact way, blah, 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 because you're drunk. Why is that wrong? I just watched you drink a bottle of wine. Why can't I say you're drunk? Are we all supposed to pretend you're not drunk?
I think it is the accusation that goes in it. It's, you're behaving this way because you're drunk. It's an accusatory statement. Why are you bringing up that I'm drunk?
I do this to Tyler
constantly.
On more than
constantly.
I haven't struck a nerve. You struck a nerve.
Constantly.
No, because if Tyler has some
I'm
drinks,
just learning this about myself.
Drunk Tyler is different than sober Tyler.
So is everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now,
so why are you calling me out on it?
Now you tell me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
When I've been drinking, I will say I'm drunk right now.
Okay.
I'm drunk. Our mother, she likes to have a couple glasses of Chardonnay, Tyler.
Yeah.
In her words, she has never been drunk.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those situations where it's like, if you were to ask her, have you ever been drunk? She would say yes. But if you were to somehow go individually down each one, it would be a no each time. Yeah.
It's like, what about right now?
Maybe you're drunk.
I'm going to burn you with a poker.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, why is being drunk something that we need to be embarrassed of?
It is not. It's the accusatory nature because
You keep saying accusatory, and I don't think that's a word. You're thinking of accusatory.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, you just threw me through a loop, baby.
That's not it. And that's, hey, if I'm drunk and you ask me, I will say, like, I'm going to make a different decision right now than I normally would because I'm drunk.
But the examples that you're using is I tell people that they're drunk, but when I talk about myself, I'll say that I'm drunk. It's not about you
shut up, drunk ass.
You calling yourself out. It is about the fact that you point out all the time, hey, look how dopey this guy's being because he's drunk.
I'm just talking about your decision making. And let's not go ahead and fight on the radio. I'm just talking about people's decision making. People's decision making. Shut up. Fuck you. You drunk? What are you drunk? Mama's boy. And that's it. That is destigmatizing. Old-timey headline.
Yeah, that's it. Is we'll be having a good time, and then Ryan will just throw it in the middle of the conversation. Well, Tyler's drunk. Well, now I'm not having a good time anymore.
Old DAT, drunk ass Tyler. And that is the show. Great job, boys. You guys did a really great. You guys gave me a really nice experience here. This was nice.
We all did.
Having a little round table, looking around the room. This was fun.
Thank you guys for having me.
We love having you, buddy.
Very much so. And I should give a heads up to the audience that it's not always going to be like this, in the sense that, Lenny, you were super easygoing or very low maintenance. You're very easy to talk to. When we eventually get, passive aggressive Anthony on here, it's going to be a totally different show. And we genuinely believe he's going to be an enemy.
Well, not through any effort on his part.
No, absolutely
just
not.
being himself. Right. I love you, PA. Yeah, wow, I don't like that. We're going to have to figure something out for that.
The only word you forgot was his actual name.
Passive ass Anthony. So you guys did a really great job. We weren't sure how this was going to go, and I'm sure there are some bumps and bruises in this hour and 15 minutes that we did, but we're trying to bring in some new voices here. We want different thought processes, and you did a great job, Lenny. We like having you here.
Thank you very much.
Felt natural on my side. Tyler, can you please tell them how to get in touch with us?
Go to THOSEGUYSYOUHATE.com. We have all the buttons, we made it so easy for you guys. And in the bottom right-hand corner of the website is a little microphone icon where you can click it and you can leave us voicemails where you get to say all the really nice and hurtful things in certain cases that you've been wanting to say for quite a while now.
Tell us fuck you, call us mama's boys.
Tell us to shut up.
Well, don't tell me to shut up. I do not like that. Now, I'm going to ask Tyler what the moral of the story is. Lenny, one's coming to you, so you need to think of
I'm already there.
Okay.
Oh,
Tyler,
nice.
what's the moral of the story, baby?
My moral of the story is, this is a constant theme throughout my life. You hear me say it all the time. Patience. We must be patient with ourselves. It's so easy to get frustrated and get so easy to get built up and angry with ourselves. And just remember to take a breath and be patient. We're going to mess up, guys. I mess up all the time.
Not me.
Lenny, what's the moral of the story?
My moral of the story is a nice warm shower will tighten that vagina right up.
That's exactly right.
Lenny!
Hey, if you have a jacuzzi, I'm thinking this out. Sit on a jet.
Yeah.
Sit on a jet, man.
I'm with you.
Yeah. See, look, we're
I think I'm gonna end solving problems because I think we're creating more than we're solving.
dude, we are tightening pussies across the country, Tyler.
Vaginas. We're tightening vaginas, Ryan. You gotta ask him.
What's your moral of the story?
No, you got to say my name.
Ryan.
Yes.
What's the moral of the story?
Well, none of your business. Listen, everybody out there who has everybody out there has a daughter. Everybody out there has a sister, has a mother. One of these things, everybody is connected to a woman. It's Breast Awareness Month, guys. Look around you. Reach out and touch somebody.
So you're telling people to look at their mothers and sisters and aunts' titties?
I'm not telling them directly. I'm suggesting it.
Ah,
I'm working it out in their head.
Gotcha.
Breast Awareness Month. Much like a bra, we support you. We are those guys you hate.
Be kind or we'll kill you.
Red mother flipping circle. So here's the story that I was telling you. I just came from my son's championship basketball game, and he is now 13. So there's actual competition. It's not like when he was a little kid where they're all just out there running around and they all get trophies.
Chasing the ball. Yep.
Mother flipper, 22 points. He scored 11 of them.
What?
Hit the game-winning shot. Dude, I couldn't sit down. It was so... Normally, I'm doing all shtick here, where I hate this, I hate that, whatever. It was so exciting. I was so friggin' proud of him. When he hit the game-winning shot, I came so close to crying. And the only reason that I didn't is because his mom was there, and I know she would have judged me. So... No, I'm dead serious.
No, that's really awesome.
A really proud parent. Not because he won, just he's really invested in it. He tried really hard, and he hit the game-winning shot. It was incredible. It was really exciting. I know there's no fun to be had there with that. It's just a fact. Tyler, I've been listening to Dateline.
Hooray!
Oh, man, I just love that more and more every friggin' time, Tyler. Now, do you remember I told you about Josh Mankiewicz, the reporter from Dateline, old Stanky Mankey?
Sure, yeah.
Do you remember Stanky Mankey?
It's vaguely, yeah.
Do you still hold on to the idea that he would be upset if he knew that I was calling him Stanky Mankey?
Yes.
Why?
Because that's not a flattering name in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, sometimes people are called, their nicknames are like Pork Chop or Tiny. If you're really big, Stanky Mankey, I say we make it a good thing.
So is it because that he smells really good?
I don't know I don't know how he smells. His name is Mankiewicz. Call him Mankey. Rhymes with stanky. That's not my fault, Tyler. I didn't make that up. So he said on this week's Dateline, if money is the root of all evil, first of all, do you agree with that money is the root of all evil?
No.
Okay.
No, human greed and want is the root of all evil because we will do things to get what it is that we want. Money is just a tool that we use to get those things.
So then where do you think that comes from? Where do you think that, because I think what you're alluding to is money is an invention by human beings, right? It's not a natural
tool.
resource.
It's just like guns. Guns aren't inherently evil. They're just a tool for bad people to do bad things with.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, I'm with that. So he says, if money is the root of all evil, then what is gold? For whatever reason, that just struck me as an interesting phrase by old Stank Mank.
I mean, the gold standard of evil?
I love it. I think that's what Wizard of Oz was about. Tyler, let me ask you another question. On this week's mini sesh,
is it going to be as jaw-dropping as this last question?
Stanky Manky, Tyler.
Okay, just checking.
Just anything to work in a Stanky Manky, I think that I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Do you remember on last week's, or I guess this week's mini sesh, where Tyler and I tell a story from our past that is not as structured as our regular show? I very briefly spoke to you about how I was doing these meditations, and I was able, yes, it's not true. It doesn't really exist, but I've been practicing it.
You've been practicing this thing that doesn't exist.
Much like karate, right?
Gotcha.
Nobody ever really kicked somebody's ass with karate. I think we could all agree with that.
I don't want to go out on a limb and sit and agree with you on that.
Any karate experts come to my house, Tyler will strike you down in the streets. So I told you that I was able to follow along with the mantra throughout the allotted time, which I thought was a real growing procedure for me.
Yes.
Wasn't a fluke. I've done it every time since. And here's how that helps.
How do you know all those times weren't flukes?
That's a great question, Tyler. I actually don't.
I have fluked 6 days in a row.
I'll let you know next week how that goes. But here's how that helps. When people think you holding on to a mantra as you're talking, is this a turnoff to everybody? Is this something that will just bore? Does anybody care about this?
The way that you, the moment you say mantra, it's over. What do you think, Lenny?
I definitely think not a good thing.
Not a good thing.
Okay. Well, if you're going to talk, you got to lean into that.
I definitely think not a good thing.
I agree with him.
Okay. All right.
Well said.
You could go ahead and leave. I don't care about that.
Yeah, another white voice on the show. Just what we need.
You know what we need, Tyler?
A white male voice.
We need a white, middle-aged man.
We're not represented, you know?
Straight man.
You've been held down for too long. We're here to break out the confined, middle-aged white man who never gets what he wants. All right, I'll move on.
Please, with your mantras.
I'm just saying, and how does that help you in real life? If you're out in a social situation where your brain is going crazy and telling you why everybody hates you and how you just committed such a horrible error and everybody's judging you, you can hold on to, nobody cares about what I'm saying. I'm going to move on. Tyler, I've received help on my spiritual journey.
Oh, this again?
From Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh. Okay, now I'm slightly back on.
Does that
Killing
help you out
hookers?
at all? What?
Killing hookers?
It's the only way to get
That's
to
what
God.
I said last week. I was like, wait, killing hookers is helping you?
This is how I can. This is totally true, and I'm feeling very defensive right now. I feel like my back is up against the wall, and I'm fighting off a gang of street thugs.
It quite literally is, and you quite literally are.
I'm gonna beat them off for as long as I can.
Yeah, you would.
So, do you remember the mission where you have to do yoga? You come home and your wife is about to cheat on you with your yoga and with her yoga instructor.
And he is this exotic European male with the accent, and he's all shredded.
I know.
And I'd bang those pixels is all I'm saying.
I am so with you. I
Mhm.
would put an 18-bit penis in my mouth, Tyler. So he says to her, and of course they're always going for the joke, much like I am.
Subtlety who?
The corners cut the inside of my mouth. So he says to her,
Mm-hmm.
keep your mouth perfectly in line with your ahnoose.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's a joke because they wanted to just say the word anus. But
In a funny way.
ahnoose, Tyler,
Mhm.
that actually is a great way to picture it by holding your mouth in line with your ahnoose. That, again, I'm losing everybody. I'm just saying, everybody out there right now,
Can you get to the point?
engage your anus. Engage your anus. Right now, Lenny, will you engage your anus as I speak to you?
I just did.
Oh,
We're
now
good.
you're engaging my anus.
All systems engaged, Captain.
All right. Well, the only other thing here that I have to talk about is Florida snow. Anybody realize what Florida snow is?
Cocaine.
No, that's Miami snow. That's a different thing.
Sorry.
Down here, when we say we're dreaming of a white Christmas, that's an entirely different situation.
Mhm.
That's where you don't sleep until New Year's Eve. Florida snow, there is this weed that grows down here. Maybe you're familiar, street producer Lenny. It's white and it grows in like little patches.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll show you guys when we leave here. Keep your eye
It
out.
looks like baby breath?
When
Baby's
it-
breath?
It grows out just in fields,
Okay.
down in like Pembroke Pines. It is everywhere. Florida snow.
That's
you guys
the time
check
right
it out.
now?
Right now, man. It's when it's cool outside is when it blooms.
That was it. That was the last of pregame, was you just telling us about some flora.
I thought it was going to be old people. Florida snow?
No, that's
Whiteheads?
that's the blue hairs.
Oh, blue.
Yeah.
Hi.